Anurag, are you there online?
Yes, sir.
Very good. তিয়াসা, আপনি ওখানে আছেন?
Yes, sir.
ঠিক, তিয়াসা, ঠিক আছে। আপনি কেমন আছেন? বলুন, ভালো আছেন তো?
Yes, sir.
আহ, আপনি ভালো করে বলো নাই কেন? আপনার হ্যাপি হয়ে গেছে নি? আর ইউ হ্যাপি নাও অর নট?
Yes, sir. I'm happy now.
Ah, answer should always be happy. You must keep yourself happy because if you are happy, 50% of the problems can be sorted out. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. So this is the material we are going to read. Whether it is they are going to ask or not, I think anybody studied commerce or economics here? Of these three people, Anjali, you are not studied commerce, na? Anurag,
Actually,
Anurag,
I'm
Sir, I'm sir,
graduate.
I'm engineering graduate, sir.
engineering. Acha, theek hai. No problem. So, Anjali, are you able to hear me properly? Anjali, are you able to hear me? I know there is
Actually,
lot.
I'm studying right now.
I know there is a lot of sound in your place. That's why you have switched off your mic. It is fine. Now, Tiasa, you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. So we will start with Nim Anurag. Nim Anurag, please make a pakka pada reading. Wherever needed, I will explain. I suggest you go up to page number 4. This is page number 2. Start.
Okay, sir. Basis of an economy. Economy is economics at play in a certain region, such as city, state, or country. For instance, Indian economy denotes the economy of India as a whole. Economics is the study of how goods and services are produced, distributed, and consumed. Traditionally, the subject matter of economics has been studied under two broad branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics, it studies the behavior of individual economics agents in the market for different goods and services. For example, analyzing the demand and supply of a good and service. It examines the functioning of a particular sector of the economy. Economic agents are those individuals,
Individual
individual,
or
individuals or
individuals or
or institutions which take economic decisions. They can be consumer who decide what and how much to consume, producers of goods and services who decide what and how much to produce, entities like the government, corporations, bank.
Hmm.
Microeconomics,
No, this is microeconomics. Now go
yes,
to macro.
macroeconomics. This is the study of the economy as a whole by focusing on aggregate measures. For example, studying total output, employment, and aggregate price level and their change over time. It examines the various linkage that exist between the different sectors of an economy. For example, the effects of inflation on unemployment. Organization
No,
of
wait.
economic.
When you are reading, I want you to read with a view that you are remembering it. Similarly, Tiasa and also another girl, Jenny, when you are listening, try to see that you are remembering everything and you just make short notes wherever required so that you can remember them and reproduce again when necessary. We are asked to tell about it, you must be able to tell briefly. Now continue, Anurag.
Okay, sir.
Organize.
Organization of economic activities, production, exchange, and consumption of goods and services are among the basic economic activities of life. Every economy faces the problem of allocating the scarce resources to the production and distribution of different goods and services among the individuals within the economy. based on how an economy is organized to address.
Not minute.
Hmm.
Mm, based on to address, no,
to
based
address
on our economy is address this problem, comma,
Three models of economic system evolved, namely market economy, state economy, mixed economy. These models also decide the role of the state in an economy.
correct. Continue.
Market economy. A market is a set of arrangements where economic agents can freely buy or sell the products. In market economy, the decisions of what to produce, how much to produce, and what price to sell are taken solely by the market. Features. There is a private ownership of means of production. The role of government is absent or minimum. State or state governments play a passive role as a regulator. It emphasizes on the division of labor and lesser fair non-interference by the government. This form of economy was proposed by Adam Smith in his work Wealth of Nations 1776. United States of America and European countries are the best example of this model.
This is market economy.
Market
Continue.
economy, yes.
State economy.
State economy, the government or the central authority plans all the important activities like production, distribution, and pricing in the economy. Features are the role of government is high. The government may even produce the goods and services that it thinks are much needed for equitable distribution. Government carries out the role of producers, suppliers of private goods and services like food, clothing, as well as public goods and services like roads, defense, etc. This form of economy was proposed by Karl Marx. There are two versions of the state economy, namely socialistic economy and communist economy. The features of socialistic economies is are collective ownership of the means of production like land, labor, capital, a large role of state in the running economy, erstwhile USSR followed this model. Mixed the features for communist economics are state ownership of means of production, absolute power of state in running the economy. China before 1980s followed this model.
Before 1980s, not now. Now
Okay,
I
before.
think they also follow some of the capitalist, because from 1991 globalization started, according to which people, each country started going into other countries for investments. The respective countries also felt it is good to allow other countries to come into our country for investing, so that one, more production will take place, two, more employment opportunities will take place. For example, in a country like America and also this Canada, where I am, the manufacturing industries are very less. One reason can be that the climate here is not suitable for majority of the occupations. And number two was the reason that China and India and Bangladesh, they started producing goods more than what is required for them. So they started selling to these countries, and these countries found it cheaper to buy from India, China, Korea, whatever it is. So the here nothing is being manufactured here excepting some of the food grains and all that. And of course, petroleum industries are there, but I am not aware of any big car industry in Canada. Maybe there are some. America, there are some. US Ford company and all that. So that way, why I'm telling you this, um, in the case of here, it is more of a capitalist economy where everything is done mostly by the people who have money, and the influence of government is less. We don't have a concept like we have in India, public sector banks. Such a concept is not here in advanced countries like Canada. So very good. But now China also has started liberalizing, so much so Apple has opened its office. So many other foreign companies have opened office in China. Reciprocally, China companies have opened a lot of offices in America and other countries also. Good. Continue. Mixed economy. Acha, Anurag,
Sir,
you,
sir,
yes,
then,
yeah, tell me.
then Indian economy will come in under which category then? Market economy, state, or mixed?
No, ours is a mixed economy state only. Mixed economy, that is, we really wanted to follow socialistic pattern of society, but after following it during Nehru's days, then Indira Gandhi's days, and all that, since much progress could not be achieved, and what this material is there in another place. 1 minute, I will show you that. This material is there in another place where in your own folder only. Today I was reading that. Olive board, nature of this, this is what nature of Indian economy. This is what we are reading or what? Yeah, this is what we are reading. But I was going through on another very good material. Etc. There are two materials of nature of Indian economy. This is some problem. I have to go. Why don't you somebody go through that and tell me, sir, any repetition is there? You just message me, I will remove them. Because there's no fun in having more than one material here. Mm. Was this the material I was reading? Yes. Here only your doubt will come. Now, Anurag, here your doubt may be solved to some extent. I will request Tiasa to read this. Tiasa, read this about economic reforms. Again, we will get back to that material after completing this. We will complete these two materials today. Now, Tiasa, please read this.
About economic reforms in India. Economic reforms in India refer to the neoliberal policies introduced by the Narasimha Rao government in 1991 when
Acha,
India faced.
Tiasa, who was Narasimha Rao?
So I don't know, but I learned about this committee. I have heard about this.
No, that Narasimham is different. Narasimham
Okay.
committee is a committee for banking transactions. This Narasimha Rao was one of our prime ministers hailing from Andhra Pradesh. Very knowledgeable person. Very knowledgeable person. And he was
Yes.
knowing so many languages. 13, 14 languages were known to him. Such a great person. But only thing people used to make fun of him, like in those days, these trolls and all were not there. So not much of a problem. But still in the newspapers and all, they used to make fun of him that he will never smile. He will always be very serious. But such an excellent personality. But for him, the country could not have achieved success to this extent. That is what we are going to see here. Please read Tiasa.
Yes, sir. When India faced a sharp economic crisis due to external debt, this crisis happened largely due to inefficiency in economic management in the 1980s. The revenues that the government was generating were not enough to meet the expenses. Hence, it had to make hefty borrowings from foreign banks to pay the debt. Hence, they were caught up in a debt trap.
Yeah.
To curb
This
this,
is listen. This situation is similar to the situation of which two other countries near us. One, Sri Lanka, two, Pakistan. Both of them have also made heavy borrowings from IMF and other from China and other organizations. to such an extent that they are not able to meet the payments on the due dates. We were in such a position 1991. Honestly, I was 41-year-old and all that. Still, I was not knowing this much of problem was happening in the economy. All that we could realize only after the papers were released after 3 or 4 years. Now continue. To curb this crisis,
To curb this crisis, India approached the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund for the loan and received $57 million to manage their crisis. As a result of which, these international organizations expected India to open its doors to trade with other countries by removing the strict restrictions hitherto present. Hence, India adopted the LPG, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization reforms under the economic reforms.
yeah, this all of you must remember. LPG means not liquefied petroleum gas. It is liberalization, privatization, globalization. Continue.
Liberalization. Liberalization was brought about with an idea that any regulations or restrictions that were imposed on free trade must loosen up its grip to allow trade.
Mm,
It allowed opening up the economic borders for foreign investment and MNCs.
mm,
Several economic reforms that were imposed under liberalization include expansion of production capacity, deservicing producing areas, abolishing industrial licensing by the government, and freedom to import goods.
See these things. Continue. Economic liberalization.
Economic liberalization in India refers to the economic liberalization of the country's economic policies with the goal of making the economy more market and service oriented and expanding the role of private and foreign investment.
Mm,
Indian economic liberalization was part of a general pattern of economic liberalization and modernization occurring across the world in the late 20th century.
mm. Although,
Although unsuccessful attempts at liberalization were made in 1966 and the
mm,
early 1980s, a more
mm,
thorough liberalization was initiated in 1991. The
mm.
reform was prompted by a balance of payments crisis that had led to a severe recession.
Yeah, now do you know what is meant by balance of payment? That India did not have money to see our imports were more than the exports, and we could not have money to repay for the imports. In comparison to that stage, today India has got more than 550 or 560 billion, BILLION, that is 100 crore dollars as foreign exchange reserve. So that was all made possible only because of this liberalization, and especially during that 1991 90s liberalization, India had a considerable number of youngsters who are in the age group of 30 to 20 to 30 to 40, wherein they were all comfortable in communicating in English. And that only helped India get majority of the BPO contracts. What is BPO? What is BPO? Business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing contracts for Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, so many companies. So all of them could get lot of contracts, and we could do service contracts and earn a considerable amount of foreign exchange. By sitting in India, our men and women were managing the work of the foreign countries companies. So that is going on even now. That is known as business process outsourcing. Through that, we got lot of monies, foreign exchange. That is why we are now in a comfortable position. Now, brief about liberalization. Please read.
The collapse of the Chandrasekhar government in the midst of the crisis and the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi led to the election of a new Congress movement led by P.V. Narasimha Rao. He
Yeah.
selected Amarnath Bharma to be his principal secretary and Manmohan Singh to be finance minister and gave them complete support in doing whatever they thought was necessary to solve the crisis. Bharma helped draft the new industrial policy alongside Chief Economic Advisor Rakesh Mohan, and it laid out a plan to foster Indian industry in 5 points. Firstly, it abolished the license Raj by removing licensing restrictions for all industries except for 18 that related to security and strategic concerns, social reasons, problems related to safety, and overriding environmental issues. To,
Mm,
incent- to incentivize foreign investment, it laid out a plan to pre-approve all investment up to 51% foreign equity participation, allowing foreign companies to bring modern technology and industrial development. To
mm,
further incentivize
mm.
uh,
To further
yes,
incentivize.
To further incentivize technological advancement, the old policy of government approval for foreign technology agreements was scrapped. The
Mm,
fourth point proposed to dismantle public monopolies by floating shares of public sector companies and limiting public sector growth to essential infrastructure, goods and services, mineral exploration, and defense manufacturing.
1 minute.
Finally,
1 minute. Here only the first company to be disinvested or shares being sold public sector, that was modern bakeries. There is modern bread, now whatever we are getting, that was the first company of government company sold to public. So the shares were sold. From there only it is going on. And even today, 2020, we are not clear about how to disinvest, when to disinvest, and all that. About 2 3 years ago, government said they want to disinvest banks. But now they have changed the stand. They don't want to give it on to others because banks are earning profit. So now people are not clear what is to be done, what is not to be done. But still, let us go ahead with what is being told to us. Now, finally, the concept of mm,
the concept of an MRTP company, where companies whose assets surpassed a certain value were placed under government supervision, was scrapped.
MRTP means monopolies, restrictive trade practices. Very good. So this contains some more materials like say on privatization, then definition of privatization, conceptualization of privatization, then effect of globalization on India, then globalization in the Indian economy, advantages of globalization in India. We will read this only because I have covered in the previous video I have posted. So kindly read this one. Um, who is the next person there? Anjali. Anjali, are you there? Anjali, are you there with us? No. चला गया अंजलि कोई बात नहीं टियासा sorry I'm giving it to you only
Yes, sir.
globalization of Indian economy please advantages of globalization in India this is a perusal of these concepts will help you in your GD also. Whenever some such topic is given, you can participate effectively there. Tiasa, please read. Advantages of globalization in India. Yeah.
Increase in employment. With the opportunity of special economic zones, there is an increase in the number of new jobs available, including the export processing zones center in India is very useful in unemploying thousands of
Huh?
people.
Hello. In unemploying, nahi, in employing.
Sorry. In employing thousands of people. Another additional factor in India is cheap labor. This feature motivates the big companies in the West to outsource employees from other regions and cause more employment. Increase in compensation. After globalization, the level of compensation has increased as compared to the domestic companies due to the skill and knowledge a foreign company offers. This opportunity also emerged as an alteration of the management structure.
Continue.
High standard of living. With the outbreak of globalization, the Indian economy and the standard of living of an individual has increased. This change is notified with the purchasing behavior of a person, especially with those who are associated with foreign companies. Hence, many cities are undergoing a better standard of living along with business development.
Very good. That was sufficient. Then the other points that are here, you can read afterwards. Why were economic reforms introduced? Poor performance in public sector, fall in foreign exchange reserves, inflationary pressure. On account of all this, that was introduced. Now, this point I brought in to answer a doubt of our, say, uh, Anur, Anurag. Anurag, what was the doubt you were raising? Please tell me now.
Sir, I was asking, Indian economy comes under which category? Market
Yeah,
economy or state economy or mixed economy?
it's a mixed economy. It's
Yes,
a
sir.
mixed economy. Yeah, we were reading this one only. What is the other material we were reading? Nature of Indian economy. No, yeah, this is what we were reading. Now our Tiasa has read some. अच्छा अच्छा ये तो तमिल में आता है अरे भाई तो खूब मुश्किल है nature of in we were having a material in which is that material, can you tell me? Is it open now on screen for you? No.
No, sir.
No. 1 minute. Let me check it up because so many same material problem. Uh, NABARD agri, NABARD forestry, NABARD nature of Indian economy, Olive Board basics of constitution, Olive Board UPSC, EPFO, EVO practice, Olive Board agriculture scheme, Olive Board banking awareness, basic constitution, agricultural, Olive Board economic reforms. This is what we study now. Olive Board industrial क्या हुआ? Olive Board nature of Indian economy. Yeah, because I think there is one Tamil material and also one English material. See, we are having two materials. Olive Board nature of Indian economy. There is, if there is anything comes in between, tell me. Olive Board nature of Indian economy. So this one must be English, no? Correct. Good. So please tell me, I will remove the Tamil one. Correct. So this is what the problem was. We were getting stuck up in this. Basics, I think you have to study, Mr. Anurag. You will start
Ye-
from mixed economy.
Yes, sir. Mixed economy. It is a blend of both market economy and state economy. Under this system, there is a freedom of economic activities as well as government interference for the social welfare. It evolved as a response to the Great Depression in 1929 in the USA, which marked the setback of free market theory.
One
In
minute, one minute,
1930,
one
yes,
minute.
sir.
Hold on. Some call is coming. Hello, hello. நான் இப்ப கிளாஸ்ல இருக்கேன். சொல்லுடா. சொல்லு. இல்ல. நான் இப்ப ஆமாமா. இன்டர்வியூ நடத்திட்டு இருக்கேன். ஒரு நாள் நேத்திக்கு வந்து நான் எங்கேயோ வெளியில ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கெல்லாம் போயிருந்தேன் உடம்பு பார்த்துக்கிறதுக்கு. மத்தபடி ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. ரெகுலர் செக்கப்க்கு. நான் இப்ப கிளாஸ்ல இருக்கேன். ஒரு 20 நிமிஷம் கழிச்சு கூப்பிட்டுமா உன்ன? சரி. ஓகே. Yeah. Okay. Mm, it evolved a response. 1929 was a very great depression. Lot of problem. You see, the economy is a cycle, 29, there was depression. Then again, 2008, there was crisis. 2023, now again, another type of crisis it comes. This is what the economy will be. Continue. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anurag.
In 1936, the English economist John Maynard Keynes proposed a new approach which suggested strong government intervention in the economy along with freedom of market. Presently, most countries follow this model.
Free market. Free market means it will go like this. Enterprise can make profit. Prices determined by market. Freedom of business. Private ownership of property. State intervention. Progressive taxation to reduce inequality. Taxation on demerit goods. Then government regulation. State ownership in sensitive areas like atomic energy. Even now, atomic energy is fully with government. Even now, defense also, majority of shares in such companies are with the government only, because that is our interest. So this is a mixed economy. Features of closed economy versus open economy. Please read. Domestic economies.
Domestic economies are also categorized based on the degree of openness to the world trade.
Closed
Closed
economy,
economy,
you first read closed, then open.
okay, sir. A closed economy, no trade activity with outside economies. In this setup, no imports come into the country and no exports leave the country. This economy is self-sufficient in nature. They are referred to as protectionist market.
Nowadays,
Open
I
economy,
think, nowadays, I
yes, sir.
don't think any country can be like this closed economy,
Yes, sir.
excepting
Except
countries like
North Korea.
except North Korea and Myanmar.
Myanmar, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
North Korea and Myanmar, in my estimation. Maybe there are others we don't know. Continue. Open economy.
Open economy. There are economic activities between the domestic economy and rest of world. They prefer free trade policies to eliminate discrimination against imports and export. They are highly accessible with few restrictions against imports and export. They are highly accessible with few restriction on participation in the economy. It is a characteristic of market economies.
Yeah,
Sectors of
good.
an economy.
Mm.
As an economy develops, improved technology enables division and specialization of labor. This enables the classification of economic activities broadly into three sectors, namely primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector.
This
Primary
we
sector,
must This we must remember. Primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary,
Primary sector. This sector includes all those economic activities where there is a direct use of natural resources. It includes agriculture, forestry, fishing, mining of metals, minerals, fuels, etc. In some economies like India, mining is considered as a part of secondary sector. This sector dominates the economies of underdeveloped countries like few countries in sub-Sahara Africa, Latin America, etc. Secondary sector. This sector produces finished goods from the raw material and thus can be called as manufacturing or industrial sector. All construction jobs and manufacturing like production of automobiles, textiles, electricity, water supply and other utility services are included in this sector. Tertiary sector. This sector involves the commercial output of services rather than the production of tangible goods. The production involves the provision of services that are consumed. The output is indirectly measured in terms of wages and salaries. It includes services like trade, transport, and communication facilities that are used to overcome distance, etc. The main difference between secondary and tertiary activities is that the expertise provided by service relies more heavily on specialized skills, experience, and knowledge of the workers rather than on the machinery and factory processes. The tertiary activities are further divided into quaternary and quinary sector. Quaternary sector, it involves the collection, production, and dissemination of information. This activity centers around research and development, specialized knowledge, and technical skills. It is also called the knowledge economy. Activities associated with this sector include government, culture, library, scientific research, education, and information technology. These activities drive technological advancement, which have a huge impact on short and long term economic growth. Culinary sector. Culinary activities are services that focuses on creation, rearrangement, and interpretation of new and existing ideas, data interpretation, and the use and evaluation of new technologies. These are referred to as gold collar professions as it includes the highest level of decision makers or policy makers in an economy. Examples are highly paid skills of senior business executives, government officials, research scientists, financial and legal consultants, etc. Their importance in the structure of advanced economies far outweigh their numbers.
Good. Now, continue. Types of economies.
Types of economies. Depending upon the share of the particular sector in total production of an economy and the ratio of the dependent population on them for their livelihood, economies are categorized as agrarian economy, industrial economy, and services economy.
Very good.
Agrarian,
Yeah, very good. We'll wait. Tiasa, Tiasa, are you there with us? Is she
Yes,
there or
sir.
gone? Yeah. Please read agrarian economy.
Agrarian economy, when the share of the primary sector is 50% or more in the GDP of the economy, then it is categorized as agrarian economy. India cannot be categorized as an agrarian economy. Only 18% of its total produce comes from primary sector. 49% of the population depends on the primary sector for their livelihood.
Hmm.
So
So
while India is no more an agrarian economy in terms of contributing to GDP, it is, sir, please scroll down.
it is agrarian.
It is agrarian because of its dependency ratio. This
Hmm.
economic character of India makes it unique in the world.
Hmm.
Industrial economy. If the secondary sector's contribution to the GDP of an economy is 50% or more than, it is referred to as industrial economy. This indicates that the economy has reached a considerable level of industrialization.
Hmm.
Services economy, an
Hmm.
economy where 50% or more of the produced value comes from the tertiary sector, it is called services economy. Stage of growth of an economy. The general shift of an economy across the world happened or happens in the following pattern:
Hmm.
agrarian
Ag-
economy, then industrial economy, then service economy.
Industrialization.
Industrialization process reduced the dependency on the primary sector for livelihood and increased the dependency on the secondary sector. Once process of industrialization in an economy reaches the saturation level, the population will shift from the secondary to the tertiary sector. Most of the Euro-American countries falls under this category. This shift is called as stages of growth of an economy. But in case of India, the shift was different. India shifted directly from being an agrarian to service economy. This resulted in skewed development of the industrial sector. Indian economy. The economy of India is the sixth largest in the
I
world.
think now it is fifth largest because
Yes,
we have beaten Great Britain also. Now it is fifth. Okay.
in terms of nominal gross domestic product (GDP), it has an average growth of around 7% in terms of industrialization and economic growth. Though the rate of growth has been sustainable and stable, there is still signs of backwardness.
Now I
Features
think
of
Anurag's questions may be answered here because they are telling more about Indian economy. Please read.
Yes, sir.
Mixer. Yeah. Yeah. Tiasa, read. Continue.
Yes, sir. Mixed economy.
Mm.
Indian economy is an example of a mixed economy, which means both the public and private sectors coexist and function smoothly. The public sector operates some of the fundamental and heavy industrial units, while the private sector has gained importance after the liberalization and it has set foot in most of the industries in India. This makes the Indian economy a perfect model of public-private partnership. Agriculture. Around 44% of the Indian population is
But
in
this number varies. Somewhere they are telling 44, somewhere they are telling 49. Pata nahi what is the number? Around 50% you can say. Yeah.
in agriculture, contributing about 20% of the GDP. Green revolution and invention in biotechnology have made Indian agriculture self-sufficient and surplus in production. The export of agricultural products such as fruits, vegetables, oils, tobacco, animal skin, etc. contributes to the forex earnings.
Okay.
Emerging
Emerging.
economy.
Mm.
Even in the midst of a global downtrend, India has sustained its GDP growth rate. This led to increased inflow of foreign capital into India through FDI and FII. Thus, India has a high potential for prospective growth, which makes it an emerging market for the world.
Fastest growing economy, India to beat China. Of course, these are all just information. Now come to fast growing service sector. Here we are doing very well. Service sector, we are doing very well. Continue. 4.
The service sector contributes around 55% of the GDP in India, taking the lion's share in the Indian economy. This is made possible through high growth in the technology sector like information technology, BPO, etc. The emerging service sectors have helped the country to go global and spread its branches. Large domestic consumption. Due to the faster growth rate of the economy, the standard of living of people in India has improved. This in turn resulted in the rapid increase in domestic consumption in the country.
Yeah, very good. Now, Mr. Anurag, please start reading. The rapid
Yes.
growth of, yeah,
The rapid growth of urban areas. Urbanization plays a key role in the growth of any economy. After independence, there was a rapid growth of urban areas in India. The improvement in transport and communication, education, and health have speeded up the pace of urbanization. Demographic dividend. India is a young nation with a maximum percentage of youth population in it. Since human capital plays a key role in maximizing the growth prospects in the country, it has invited foreign investments to the country and outsourcing opportunities.
mm, here some
Uh,
picture is given. Yeah, I think what are they telling? Working age of the population 61%, 65%, 62%. Pata nahi how to understand that. Please go through the picture and know it. Still continue. Weakness of Indian economy.
Weakness of Indian economy. First, large population. India stands second in terms of population next only to China and is likely to overtake China shortly. The population growth rate of India is very high and is always a hurdle to the growth rate. The annual population growth rate in India is 1.2% as of 2019 data. Second, inequality and poverty. A
Mm.
huge economic disparity exists in the Indian economy. The proportion of income and assets owned by the top 10% of Indians goes on increasing. This had led to an increase in country's poverty level and a higher percentage of the population still lives below the poverty line. The United Nations estimated the number of poor in the country to be 364 million in 2019 or 28% of the population. Third is increasing prices of essential goods. Even though there has been a constant growth in the GDP, the prices of essential goods and services are continuously increasing. The steady rise in prices erodes the purchasing power and adversely affects poor people. Fourth is weak infrastructure. India has built a robust infrastructure gradually in the past few decades. However, there is a scarcity of basic infrastructures like power, transport,
Uh-huh.
storage, etc.
Mm.
Fifth is inadequate employment generation. With the increase in the youth population, there is a huge demand for employment opportunities. The growth in production is not accompanied by the creation of jobs. Thus, Indian economy is characterized by jobless growth. Sixth is
Mm.
outdated technology. The level of technological improvements in agriculture and small scale industries are not adequate and are obsolete in nature.
Yeah, that's all.
Previous
Yeah, this is not required. Previous year question and all not required. Anyhow, this much will do. So, like this, whenever you come across some material that has been given about economy, about banking, about technology, try to be reading so that you can update your skills. That is the idea behind this exercise. Today, we have done a very good study of, say, two papers that I've given you relating to economics. This will give you an idea about to talk about the economy. However, the concepts like say inflation, deflation, etc., those things are covered under some other material. It seems if you are able to catch it, go through that. Otherwise, next time when we meet, we will just go through them also. So now the situation in Indian economy is like this. On the one hand, the price of goods and services are increasing, and unemployment is also increasing. That is again, but this has been the case not only today. Even when I was young, we were searching for employment, the employment was not available very easily because the chances of employment were always less than the number of people competing for the same. But of course, now the competition level has increased enormously. Maybe in my times, for one job, probably 20, 30 people may be competing. Whereas now, for one job, maybe 1,000 people are competing. I'm not sure about what is the number and all. So, anyhow, I wish you all best of luck. Tomorrow, being Sunday, we will take off. I suggest you take leave, you prepare yourself, and also you are going to have your psychometry test. After psychometry test, I request you to post some of the questions you are remembering or some points about it in our Telegram page so that next day, Monday, when we meet, we can spend some 15 minutes in discussing about that. Then we can go ahead with the other programs. Now, I think which material you can read. Let me tell you. Mm,
Sir,
Here,
you told that economic survey.
economic survey. A budget and economic survey, na? Or economic survey only. Budget and
Economic
economics.
survey only.
Acha, acha. Budget B, I have given you now. Budget also, economic survey also is there. Okay. Um, we will read economic survey only. Please go through economic survey thoroughly. But without linking it to budget, there is no relevance. So please read both budget and economic survey so that Monday
Okay.
when you come, we can have some discussion on that. Otherwise, today's session is really useful from creating an interest in economics. Tiasa, what is your degree?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. So for you people, this economics may not be that very comfortable, but if you read once, twice, thrice, you will be able to know about it easily. Did you write Sidbi exam also?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, Anurag, you didn't write because I understand Sidbi results have come day before yesterday or so. So people have started approaching for that also. That is Sidbi examination. Why did you not apply for Sidbi? Perhaps you are not aware of it.
Sir, I was not knowing about the vacancy of
Ex-
Sidbi.
Exactly. And a lot of vacancies are there, it seems. Nearly 1,000 people are being called for interview. Very big interview, that is also. Anyhow, best wishes.
Thank you, sir.
We will see. But so this means you should be on the lookout of advertisements, say in newspaper as well as by going through various websites and all. Thoda update करके जाइएगा. Wherever some vacancy comes, you can apply and try to have it as an experience. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you writing LIC AAO? No.
Sir,
Hello, you couldn't clear prelims.
yes, I think I could not clear the prelims, sir. Yes, the result came last week, and I
Mhm.
was not cleared for mains, sir.
What about Tiasa?
Sir, I also couldn't clear the prelims.
Oh, doesn't matter. See, it is, of course, we don't know what is the composition there. Anyhow, um, try to be, but one thing, see, every day the level of problems, it is increasing like anything. The, ex- the difficulty level of the problems, it is increasing like anything. Um, to be frank, let me tell you, the year was 1979 or 80. First time when an organization known as Banking Service Recruitment Board was constituted. I was there. I started preparing for questions. In those days, you know what will be the questions? Very simple. 22 plus 45 plus 89 minus this is equal to this much. Then some multiplication. There were no word problems at all. And reasoning, it was only, say, pictorial. There is non-verbal reasoning. One line, say, this side, another one this side, another one this side. The last one will go this side. So such very simple problems. Then English was nothing. And there used to be a paper known as clerical aptitude. It is nothing but observation skill. Some 3 lines will be given on the left side and it will be repeated 4 times. You have to find out which one is exactly resembling that. Otherwise, nothing is there. So, likewise, the paper was very, very easy. From that stage, um, this much of difficulty, say, word problems came. Now, later on, data interpretation came, then reasoning, simple problems were given, 4 people only, then 6 people, then now I think we are in 8 people. Now we are in still more advanced stage. 8 people, some of them will face inside, some of them will face outside. Are Baba? So really tough only. Every day the problems toughness increases. So continue to practice reasoning and what is that, quantitative aptitude, and above all english also. Then the type of words they are asking, they are all very tough ones. So please be reading your vocabulary also, knowledge, grammar also, that will be better. Very good. Best wishes. Tiasa, any questions you have to ask? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Kuch nahi? Kuch nahi. Very good. What about Anurag?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So
Sir,
now,
actually, I was asking uh, nothing, sir. It was a personal question. You said that you went for some blood test. So I was asking, are
yeah,
you fine, sir?
yeah, I'm fine. This is regular blood test checkup.
Okay, okay,
I am 73. So what happened? Every 6 months or 3 months, we have to take test to see
okay.
that we find whether there is any progress or रिवर्स प्रोसेस सो इसको देखना पड़ेगा इसीलिए जा रहा हूँ कुछ कुछ तकलीफ नहीं आई एम परफेक्टली फाइन बट on returning I don't know why I confused 9:40 as a time for you 8:10 so I started rushing in and I found nobody was there Arey boy these fellows useless fellows nobody has come so I was scolding within myself and I started conducting some class the 50% of that is what Tiasa was reading today. So that's what it is. Anyhow, I wanted to tell you, good boy, good. Today I have handed mm, this material, this one. Are you seeing on the screen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Mhm. Today I have added this material, Aparchit Exam Warriors. No, but everybody is telling the same thing. But if you find it convenient for you to read, you may read this. For example, this contains the headings alone will do for us. What are the necessary documents you have to carry? What is the interview process about the formal dress, body language, greeting and entry inside the room? Important note, all small bank MD and headquarters. But this has been prepared 2 months back, but there can be a change somewhere in one or two cases. Then all public sector MD CEO tagline, all private sector MD CEO tagline, questions relating to personal family background. This, of course, we have already seen in our bankers Adda book itself. RBI history function related facts, monetary policy rate, cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio. But the problem is, it is not that we don't know, we all know. But yesterday I was asking a candidate a question about what is CRR, and he was telling repo rate. So sometimes it's such mistakes happen, you should be very alert in interview. SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, corridor gap, I don't know what it is, liquidity adjustment facility, marginal standing facility, bank rate, policy rate updated. I'm not sure whether it is updated, which data it must be, which page it is. Policy rate updated 42. 42 में क्या दिया है which rates have they given February or December see I told you again after that 2 revisions have come this book has been prepared some 4 months back or 5 months back so like that we cannot depend any one PDF material the only way you can depend is whatever is being posted currently on telegrams or so after revision. So you should be alert. Okay. Please be careful. I will also put a note in our telegram page itself. Some rates are not some rates. Rates are to be updated. Bank rate, policy rate, P. See, this contains all very interesting question. PMMY, PMFY, PM Swanidhi, PMAY, PMJDY, PMUY, Clearing Corporation of India. I'm not having patience to read. So many things are there. So please go through this. First, you will go through, I told you, budget economic survey. And after finishing that, we will come to this Aparchit book. Try to go through some points. so that we know we can answer questions easily in the interview. But the problem is that what is your name? Mahajan, na? What is your full name? 1 minute. Anurag. Anurag. What is happening is I am preparing candidates very well for interview and sending them. But today the interview has, I think you are not seeing on screen. आपको screen में मिलता है?
हाँ दिख रहा है सर.
Hmm. Tell me about yourself. Past working company detail. Questions on certification. Are you a team player? What is a balance sheet? What is CRR? Then monetary policy and committee member. Then a repo rate, reverse repo rate. What is Basel norms? Do you know about Basel 3? A relocation. Can you relocate to any place? If a manager says go outside the branch and market our products, will you go or not? What is job role of a clerk? Can you handle customer? If you got selected in State Bank of India, then will you leave this job? Who is MD of South Indian Bank? About the wife, profession and earning source after marriage. About father profession. Why you want to join South Indian Bank? You can join any private bank like HDFC. Then why you are not preparing for engineering field exam? Likewise, this question. See, we are studying so much of banking, but many times they are not asking more of banking also. Here you see self-introduction, strengths, family background, subject-related basics of computer. Then some sir asked me about my college, why my college got that name, about core banking solutions, inflation, how RBI controls inflation, what is open market. See, economics is needed for us. Open market operations, FDI, FII, that is it, sir. Don't know why only few bank related questions. Every student told the same. Subject related questions were asked more than banking questions. So this was happened in our what is that South Indian Bank interview. But your State Bank also will be similar to that, in that for lucky people who go in the morning, they will do it seriously. For some unfortunate fellows who go at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the evening, finished. For them also, दिमाग में जो लिखा है उसका बारे में ही होगा. ठीक है? Very good. So we will read this Aparchit and all that for some more time. Later on, I think it is time we have to go for group discussion. I was just waiting for some more people to join us. If some more new people join, that will make us a big group, at least 15, 20 people. If it is good, that will be nice. So that's what it is. We will think about it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye. Tomorrow, no class. Sunday, no
Okay, sir.
class.
Okay, sir.